Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm going to be doing a review for the Perixx PX-2000 keyboard. So this keyboard can be purchased for £25 on amazon.co.uk. Make sure you check the link down in the description below. And I will also be comparing this keyboard to my Logitech G710 keyboard over here, which is in a completely different league, but I'm going to compare it for noise differences. And its younger or older brother, I don't know what you want to say it, but it's the PX-1100 UK layout, which I reviewed previously. And again, I'll link that down in the description below. Seems to be quite a favorited keyboard. I've been able to track the purchases via my Amazon link, and it's a lot of people which are buying this keyboard. This keyboard was reviewed at £35, and I actually found it very excellent. This keyboard is actually cheaper, and it comes in at £25. So I was very much intrigued to see how it's going to deal with certain applications I'm going to use it with, and what were my overall thoughts with it. So first of all, going through the features. So as you can see, this keyboard is as it is. It doesn't come with any other things apart from the little manual that it comes with. It doesn't need any software or installation disk or anything like that, or drivers. It really installs within 10 to 15 seconds on Windows, no problems at all, which is absolutely brilliant. As you'll be able to see, it doesn't come with any sort of wrist rest, unlike the PX-1100. It came with a wrist rest, as you can see that I'm showing you right now, and that was quite nice for typing, but unfortunately this doesn't come with it, and obviously, as you can see, as a cheaper keyboard, you'd kind of expect it. You can also see that it is backlit. It's a blue LED backlit. If I'm not mistaken, get in red as well, but anyway, this is the blue version, and as far as I'm aware, it's the only thing that you can get. But there's a blue backlighting, which is very nice indeed, and can be customized. If you press FN and the exit button, you can dim it, you can switch it off, and you can have it pulsating. Now, the controls of the backlight are brilliant. I didn't expect like full 100% to 0% control. However, one thing I did notice is the fact that when you turn off the backlight, you'll be able to see there is absolutely no notion of the keys. You can barely see them. As you can see them just there in the reflection right there of the light, but unfortunately you cannot see them. Unlike its little brother, the PX-1100, if I switch off the backlight, you'll be still able to see the keys, and it's a very notable difference. Now, the reason I mention this is simply because if you were to be in an office environment and you'd want to use this keyboard, then the blue LED is going to really be sticking out. Unless you know all the keys and where they stand, which there's a lot of people which do know. For example, on mechanical keyboard clubs, there's a lot of people which like to buy completely blank keycaps, which is completely fine. But for the general population, you'd normally want something that actually shows you the keys. Unfortunately, this keyboard doesn't have that, and it's a shame that Perixx overlooked that option. They could have just taken the keys from the PX-1100, but unfortunately they didn't. Not sure if that's cutting costs or whatnot, but it's a certain feature which I find is a little bit lacking. But anyway, moving on from the actual design of the keyboard and what's included. The features. Now, as you'll be able to see on the FN keys, you've got different things. So you've got music controls, a music player to open up music player, all the music control, media control, shall I say, and then to open up internet, email, numlock, key lock and win lock, which is useful for gamers. So if I press it win lock, you're going to see that little game icon come up. So that's pretty cool. And it's really useful for quick access, and it's a really nice feature to have in there without any use of any software or anything like that. They work flawlessly, and I tested them out and they work brilliantly. So it's really nice that Perixx included them. You can also see on the side that you've got certain programmable keys. You've got 6 in total. Now, these again don't need any software to be used. All you do is hold down the profile button and hold the M1 button, for example, and then the red light on the side over there will start flashing, meaning that it is recording your key presses. So what I did is I adjusted 1 to 3 for Win 1, 3, and 4, which opens up Outlook, my music player, and Google Chrome. And from 4 to 6, I did certain different things, such as cut, copy, and paste. And usually, as you can see, they press Control and C, Control V, Control X, and whatnot, and they were all done by a touch of a button. So it's absolutely brilliant. As long as you can do something Via keys, you can program these to pretty much anything you'd want. So in my case, I can open anything from Outlook to cutting words on a document. So it's absolutely brilliant, the fact that I don't need a program to do this. Obviously, a certain software would help it with different type of programs, different sort of applications, seeing what macro you're pressing and whatnot. But just for the simplicity and the fact that it's only a £25 keyboard, I think it's absolutely brilliant that if it had this included. It could have not had this included and it still would have counted as a good keyboard in terms of a review, but they included this, meaning it adds a lot of functionality to this keyboard and can speed up certain things that you might be doing on your PC. Now, it won't be a proper keyboard review, unlike other keyboard reviews you'll be able to see on the internet, not of this keyboard, but just generally speaking. It's a certain comment I should make on certain other reviewers, is how does it sound like and how does it feel like on typing. So I'm just going to type out something, and what I'm going to do is compare it to the other keyboards that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to type the same thing, and I'm going to be very quiet when I'm doing this so that you can hear the differences, or at least hopefully hear the differences. Now, I'm bound to make some mistakes, but hopefully you heard that. It sounds really, really quiet, and the keypad presses are very, very soft. You didn't see me trying very hard there. Now, if I compare it to its other older brother, I'm not really sure, but the PX-1100, and I'm going to just compare that. So here we go. This is another test. So hopefully you were able to hear right there. It was just a little tad louder. You could hear those kind of clicks going on in the background. Even just doing this, it's just got a different type of sound to it. Now, if I bring in my mechanical keyboard, which is running on MX Brown switches, then you'll be definitely able to hear the differences over here, because obviously it's a mechanical keyboard, so it's definitely going to be louder, but here we go. So as you'll be able to hear, it's much louder in terms of a keyboard, as far as a keyboard goes for the mechanical keyboard. But I just wanted to compare it and give you a realistic comparison. Another thing I should mention about this keyboard is that it's actually very light. It's surprisingly light. I mean, I could put this in my laptop bag or something like that and not even really feel it. Whereas the PX-1100, it's got a bit more weight to it, and my mechanical keyboard is naturally going to be much heavier than a membrane keyboard. But it's actually very surprising. It's very light. Now, I don't know if that is light equals cheaper materials used or whatnot, but I don't really care. As long as it types well for the given price, that's all I care about, and that's what it does. Gaming performance, I also should say, was brilliant. I didn't have any problems gaming. I actually really enjoyed gaming on this, as it's very soft, very easy to game on. Had no problems. Finally, before I end this review and give you my concluding thoughts, I should also mention that it does have these little flip-up things over here. So that's going to be adjustable. They're not very high, unfortunately, but they are there, they are present. So I should mention that before I do conclude this review. So what are my overall thoughts of this keyboard, and what do I rate it as? Well, this keyboard comes at £25, so I have to review it at £25. Well, not have to review it, but I choose to review it at £25 because that's what it can be bought at. For £25, I think it's an excellent keyboard. I think it's a must-buy if you're on a budget. If you have a little bit more money, then I would probably suggest its younger/older brother, the PX-1100, which is just the one on the right over there. Simply because of the keys, which you're able to see, and the adjustable backlight, which has more precision with the little knob which changes the intensity of the light. So because of that, I mean, I would choose that keyboard. However, this keyboard is absolutely brilliant. Sure, £10 might not be a lot for some people, but sometimes £10 can be the deal breaker in terms of buying your keyboard. For £25, would I buy this keyboard? Yes, I would. Hell yes, I would. It's a brilliant keyboard, lovely to type on, really silent, has some nice features, really cool additional features which you wouldn't expect from a cheap keyboard. 3 profiles you can switch from, LED backlighting as well. So really good overall product from Perixx. Problems with the keyboard, well, it's pretty much outlined in the review. The fact that you, when you switch off the backlighting, then you can't really see your keys, and the fact it doesn't have a wrist rest that it's included. Apart from those 2 points, I'm not going to be really picky on anything else. I think that's the only cons of this keyboard. They can be quite big cons, especially when you compare it to something that's just £10 more expensive and you can get something like this. So again, from Perixx themselves, but something just a little higher up in the line. Finally, I should mention another thing, and this is relating to something on the BIOS. Now, I had the same thing with the PX-1100, and it's something that I should mention on this. When you switch off your computer, there's a certain feature that allows you to have your phone charging. On my Asus motherboard, or should I call it the Noobsus Z77, because I absolutely hate the motherboard, it has ERP functionality, and ERP means it has USB power on or off, depending if it's enabled or disabled. What does that mean to you and me? Well, what that means is that if you switch off your PC and you have your phone connected, for example, which is using a USB connection, then it can still charge the phone despite the PC being off because it utilizes the power via the USB. Now you might be saying, why the hell are you mentioning this? Well, it's simple. This keyboard is powered by USB, so are the other 2 keyboards that you saw. For some reason, this keyboard sometimes has trouble with that ERP functionality. You really have to have it so that it's disabled. In other words, that the USB functionality is disabled for charging or using it after the PC is off. And the reason you want to do that is because you want the LEDs to switch off. If you don't do that, then the LEDs will stay on despite switching off the PC. Now, I can't remember which way I've got it on, or I've enabled it or disabled it. What I'm going to do is switch off my PC, and you'll be able to see it hopefully either stay on, or it will switch off just after a little while. So it is a certain feature. Now you'll be able to see that my Logitech keyboard switched off, so has the other one over there, and this one is still staying on right now. Now it might switch off. I can't remember the setting that I had it on. There you go, it switches off. So as you can see, the ERP functionality is working. It's hit and miss sometimes, at least on my motherboard. On my mum's motherboard, which is using a Gigabyte motherboard, I had no problems. So it's just a little thing that you should bear in mind, because it does sometimes depend that if you might not have that BIOS option, then you might be left with a keyboard that's staying on the whole time. And that might be a little bit weird unless you unplug it. But anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this review and this overview of this keyboard. Again, make sure you check out the link in the description if you're thinking of purchasing it, or you want to see the review for the PX-1100. Again, great product from Perixx, highly rated it. In all honesty, I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10, and the reason it loses that 1 out of 10 is simply because it should have had white keys over here. It would have been easier to distinguish. So I don't feel like you should give anything lower than a 9 out of 10 for it, because apart from that, it's brilliant at its price point. And to summarize the video, or to, should I say, finish it off, make sure you like this video if you like this video and you like the videos that I do. Subscribe if you want to see more, it's always very helpful. Favorite the video, share it to your friends or family, always helps. Spread the love and the information across the internet, it's always good and always helps me as well. Alright guys, well, I've been Totally Dubbed. I know it's been a slightly long review, but hopefully it's been covered. It's covered everything that you can possibly imagine of the keyboard, and allows you to make a informative purchasing decision. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care, bye bye.